Good morning, everybody. I see we've got a few in the door already. We've got Angela, good morning. And we've got Ulrika and Black Rose. And of course the lovely Thea. Who else have we got? Okay, Tara, hi. Nice to see you too. I know for some of you this is early as well. It's not just me that's up early. All the pink underhands from Katara. Oh, a cup of tea. For Katara it's 10:30 at night. Great stuff. I should have been here at 1 a.m. when Jan was leaping about with cramp in one leg. Oh my goodness. I didn't expect to see you this morning, Jan, honestly. So just to let you all know, I am really sick. I am super unwell. You can probably tell by the state of me. I think I've picked something up on the flight on the way back from Sweden. So yeah, I'm all cozied up. I'm really, like, I feel as if I've been hit in the face by a brick. Like, everything hurts, like, all round here. I've got every conceivable liquid you can think of. I've had a Lemsip already. I've got tea, I've got juice, I've got freshly squeezed orange juice. So the thing that's concerning me is I don't know how long my voice is going to last. So I'm going to go for an hour and see how we go, and if I'm really struggling I might call it at an hour. But I'm still happy to be here. I've been up since like 4 o'clock this morning, obviously didn't sleep very well. Also, if the sniffing or the coughing becomes too much, I will terminate, because there's nothing more annoying when you're watching a live stream and someone sitting sniffing away. So that's where we are. Hey Artsy Endo, how you doing? I'm not really a person that gets sick, but I'm quite isolated, obviously, work from home, live on the farm. And well, let's face it, planes are germ factories, so it's likely that I picked something up on the way back. Sweden was awesome. I had such a good time, like I really did. It was fabulous. Got to see loads of stuff, got to do loads of stuff, got to cuddle loads of doggies. Some of you know Julia's family breed Petit Bassets, so they're like long-haired Bassets and they're just adorable, and Julia's got a little poodle called Albert as well, so I wasn't missing anything in the doggy love department either. And we did quite a lot of arting as well, which was nice, and for the first time since my mum passed away I arted just for the fun of it, and it was very good indeed. I had such a good time. Okay, so let's just take a look at what's going on today then. I'll just pop you to this view. First of all, I have a shiny new Tegal sharpener. My other one's pretty much past its best, and I was looking back and I've had it for quite some time, so I was due a new one anyway, so we can crack this open today. Black Rose usually gets sick from the kids at work. Yeah, kids are like little germ factories as well, aren't they? Interestingly, on the plane on the way home, I always pick an aisle seat when I travel on my own, I just like to be able to get up and walk about and go to the bathroom without pestering anybody. And I was sitting next to a lovely Swedish couple, and they had a 10-month-old baby, and he was the most adorable thing I have ever seen. And he just wanted to hold my hand. So I basically spent 2 hours on the flight with this little baby holding on to my finger and trying to stick it in his mouth. But he was so well behaved. He did really well. It is only like an hour and 45 minutes. It's a short flight from Gothenburg to Edinburgh. So, but little man did great, and we had a good time. Okay, so what I want to work on this morning, first of all. While I was away, I took quite a lot of photographs, and one of the things where Julia stays in Sweden, she is in a rural area, so it's a lot of forest, a lot of trees, and I took lots of mushroom pictures. So I want to work on one of those. This was the one that I did when I was over. I finished this in Julia's studio, and it was just a sort of grab all the supplies that were there and make something of it. And then I started on this one. One of the things I do when I'm flying on my own is I set myself a wee challenge. See when the seatbelt light goes on just before you're ready to start the descent. I like to start drawing something and try and finish it before the plane hits the runway, because obviously when it hits the runway it jiggles you. So that was this little mushroom here, so I did that on the way home down back into Edinburgh. And then I started this big bad boy here, so just to show you the reference image. And it is just a reference image. So one of these great, but this was huge. This was like the span of my hand. So I'm going with that minus the detritus on the top. But I just really like the colours and the fact that it's got these ridges that run around the outside. And there's some really lovely orange colours in there. So I want to carry that on. So you can see I made a start here, and we're going to keep going with that and see if we can push it on a wee bit. And I think I probably won't get this finished this morning because it is quite big. It's going to be a lot of pencil work, but when I finish it off, I'll post it on Instagram. Right, let's start with the fresh orange. Oh, that feels so good against my throat. I do like that one. Katara, there were some absolute crackers. I also got a lesson in blueberries and lingonberries when I was in Sweden, and I've learned that in the UK, what we call a blueberry is actually a bilberry, and a blueberry is a different thing, and it's what the US would call a blueberry. They're much bigger, and you can tell the difference by when you squish them what colour they are inside. The bilberries, or our blueberries, are like a reddish purplish colour. And blueberries apparently are not, so I learned that as well. So I know how to find them in the forest now as well, which is really cool. So I'm going to be using some polychromos today. Haven't used them for a wee while. And I think I was kind of trying to do this in sections just because it was so big. I think I might carry on with this edge, so this bottom part here, and just work my way around, because it kind of goes into what I would say in polychromos colours are green gold. So I'm going to grab a couple of pencils there and see how we go. So we'll get green gold out. That's a good start. Look at the point on that bad boy. Ooh! And I also want to grab my cream pencil. So how's everyone doing this morning anyway, now that I've told you all about what's going on here? What's everybody doing? I know for those of you that are in the UK or sort of my side of Europe, what are you doing up so early? Are you just up for the stream, or were you awake anyway? Are you naturally early risers? Ulrika, ooh, berry knowledge. Right, I'll zoom in a wee bit here. Oh, I had to move stuff out the way. I've only got a few pages left in this sketchbook, so I'm determined that I'm finishing this sketchbook before the end of the year and I can get a new one. I'm just sloping about the supermarket squeezing blueberries, Jan. Ulrika's got achy shoulders. Oh, I'm sorry, Ulrika. We can be achy together. Katara's a nighttime person. Oh, we've got a night owl in Texas. Okay. Well, it's nice to have you here. Thanks for joining us, Trevor. Jan set an alarm. Oh, bless you, Jan. Okay, so I don't know if you actually can't see that, but I do have like a rough line drawn in very light graphite, and that's just to give me a guide for these sort of uppy swishy bits. Uppy swishy bits. Right, I think we'll go there. I think that's a good spot. Let's try out the new Jingle. Straight in for a number 5, no messing about. I did also find on my travels, hello Michelle H, 3 p.m. in South Australia. A lovely time of day for you. There we go. That's why we needed a new sharpener. This is one of the things I really like about doing these streams, is because I tend to see faces that I don't see on a Wednesday, and I like to have, do this every now and then so that some of the people that don't get the chance to catch the lives can join in the fun. So I mean, I'm just using this reference very loosely. I'm not trying to stick to it rigidly. That is my nose running already. Good grief! That's because I've tipped my head forward. I've given up on tissues as well. I'm just literally on a roll of toilet paper now. And at the pointy point setting, yeah, straight away. Oh goodness me! I think this is gonna be a mission this morning. Okay, so let me just bring this round. See, I've just been going a section at a time. I'm finding like way markers, so you can see there's some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Blemish. There we go. Here, so that's a good place to stop. And I'll add that in, and we can just work in these wee sections. So I'm just gonna like make a little mark. And I think I'm going to grab this green gold. Start chucking that in. Chucking it in. Yeah, I found on my travels when I was filming the Cave Discoveries videos, which by the way is nearly ready to go, you'll be pleased to know. I found a double hold metal sharpener that I didn't know I had. And it's a comb, so I was really excited about that. So I've been using that until this arrived, just to so I can get, because they do give a really long pointy point, and I like those sharpeners because you can replace the blades. And this is the problem with these Jingle sharpeners, you can't replace the blades. But as I say, I use mine a lot, and I think that last one I've had for nearly a year, so I'll not complain. I was trying to remember what colour I was using over here. I think it was burnt umber. Or maybe it was Bistra actually. Let's grab Bistra. Oh, Michelle's at work. Shh. I need to give this a wee sharpen as well. Maybe it wasn't, that's what I was using. I can't remember how I started this. I've drawn so many little bitty bits this last couple of days. I've kind of lost track. Oh, shoot. I don't think it was this pencil either, but never mind. And there is a sort of slightly, like the edge is starting to brown as well, so I'll add that in there. There we go. I feel like I've got a framework now. Quite windy here this morning. It's still dark outside, and I know you can't see because of the light of the blind. It is still dark this morning. It was supposed to be really wet, but when I went and let Pip and Jock out, just before I started. It was clear skies and I could like see the stars and stuff, so I don't think we're going to get quite just what we were supposed to, which I'm not complaining about, but I do foresee after I'm finished, I don't think I'll be doing much today. Honestly, I had great plans today to get all this stuff done, but the Scottish expression is I feel like a washed out cloop, you know, like a wrung out rag. I just like got no energy whatsoever. A drunk ill gem. Good grief. I don't think I could stomach anything. Like I've got no appetite either. Like absolutely just do not want to eat anything. So I think Jack Daniels would be a terrible idea. But even the thought of it, I'm like, oh no. I did drink quite a lot of Jack Daniels when I was away. I drank a lot of beer when I was away as well. I generally don't drink beer now. I don't keep it at home just for the calorie content. I tend to stick to Jack Daniels and save beer for when I'm out and about. So Julia's dad furnished me. He kept the fridge stocked with beer for me, and I was like, oh, beer. The hospitality was fantastic. I think I'm going to grab sepia as well. Oh, here we go again. Excuse me one moment. Better. we need to do a colour cave bingo for each live stream. Well, you did a lot of stuff not in your bingo card this morning. And there's a few things that would be a given. Like normally in the Wednesday streams, there's usually tea, there's usually Jack Daniels. Not today. I know we talk about Scotland being a nation of drinkers, but drinking Jack Daniels at 6:30 in the morning, that's a bit beyond me. I did take tea bags with me to Sweden. They just don't. They drink a lot of fruit teas and a lot of loose teas, and I can forego a lot of things, but I need my cup of tea in the morning. Like that's oh yes, I think I would be pretty lost without that, to be honest. So I did take my tea bags with me. So I'm just trying to work out wee patches for this. I think it might actually be like a fungus that's growing on it, but I need to keep it white. So if I put these other little marks in just now, that'll remind me to avoid that with the rest of my pencils. So I feel like I need to go into a bit of a warmer shade in some of these areas as well. What about... I think I might have to get Swatchbook out here. Just to show you what I'm looking at. So we're into sort of orangey territory. Now I know I'm going to be putting reds across this, but I feel like I need some sort of base colour. So let's see what we've got in here. A glorified taxi driver. Did you leave the tea bags there to give Sweden a treat? It was Yorkshire tea and I ran out of tea bags, so I didn't leave any because there was none to leave. Julia has tried Yorkshire tea. She did, when she came over in July, she did try all the traditions. And she really wasn't that impressed. She was like, it's okay. It's like, how dare you talk about my tea like that? Right, polychromos. I think, I don't know what I want here. I'm thinking maybe burnt ochre. I think terracotta might be more of a middle colour, Thea. Yeah, you know, for when we sort of venture up into here. Yeah, I think I'll go burnt ochre. It might have been the burnt ochre I was using before, in all honesty. I'll find it. Walnut brown. Did I lift that out already? No, I'm missing a pencil. head is absolutely bouncing. Sometimes I enjoy a cup of Earl Grey with a hint of milk and sweetener, but mostly I have a cup of coffee in the morning with my breakfast. Yeah, I'm not a... See, Earl Grey, meh. I do like the Zoom, Jan. It helps a lot. Oh, right, okay, now we're on to proper tea. Oh, that feels so nice on my throat. Well, before we took photos with our phones, I think we used reference images out of things like encyclopedias. I had Encarta on my computer. Hey Snoo, how's it going? Nice to see you. Hi. I just don't drink coffee again, which is it's kind of a problem in Sweden because the Swedes are huge coffee drinkers, and you get looked at like you've got horns growing out your head. I'm just not a coffee fan at all. I don't like the aftertaste it leaves. I've never been a coffee fan. I don't really like the smell of it either, to be honest. Always been a tea person. There we go, that's warming that up nicely. Yeah! That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so I can work back over this whole section now. With my very pointy points. So I did pick out a lot of paint colours with Julia, so I have returned with a lot of colours that we don't have in the shop. So I'm going to do with them what I did before, and I'll release a couple of colours every month for everybody's painting pleasure. So the first two colours will be available from Monday, so I'll put up a little post tomorrow on the socials, and the two newest colours shall be available from early next week. Builder's tea is not for me. Oh, my tea's pretty dark, I'll show you them. I drink, and I do have the tannin marks round my mug. I only have a tiny splash of milk. I don't drink a lot of milk. Are you one of these people, Jan, that just kind of like tickles the water with the tea bag and then flings it out? Could I sound like an old tractor? I'm like really wheezy. Oh. I feel like I could take this all the way around here now. Yeah, that's looking a bit more like it, a bit happier with that. Perfect tea colour. Thank you, Angela. My sister-in-law, she drinks like baby tea, so she like just like sort of wafts the tea bag over the water and then puts tons of milk in it, and it actually looks like dirty dishwater. It's disgusting. I'm like, do you want some tea with that milk? It's really, really weak tea. See, she calls it baby tea. I was like, I don't even know if it's baby tea or not. Like, ugh. Coffee is nice on occasion. That's a bit odd, Thea. I know I like sweet tea, but it's usually sweet. I haven't taken sugar in my tea for years, and again now I'm so used to sweetening it with something else that I don't actually like the taste of sugar in my tea anymore. I did have sugar in my tea when I was in Sweden though. There was a lot of things that I did in Sweden that I don't normally do. I'm always I drink skimmed milk as well, and again that's something I've done for years. And when I was in Sweden, it was semi-skimmed milk, and it made me laugh because in Swedish it translates literally as middle milk. That's what's like written on the carton, so that made me chuckle. So I'm drinking middle milk. And I eat lots of cheese for breakfast. I was telling the people in the Discord that I basically, it was rude not to have cheese for breakfast, but I love it. But oh my god, the amount of calories! It's like, oh, but I had fun doing it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have cheese for breakfast. Again, rude not to. Cheese. I did not bring home some cheese. The blocks of cheese in Sweden are gigantic. The breakfast cheese that they have, it's called house cheese, is the smallest one's 2.2 kilos, which is like 4.5 pounds. I wasn't bringing 4.5 pounds of cheese back in my suitcase. Oh. But yeah, it was good while it lasted. It's very mild. It's not, I mean, I think for breakfast time that's probably appropriate. But they literally just like dump this cylinder down on the table, and then you just like shave bits off it and stick it on your toast or whatever it is you're having. That is a lot of cheese. It's a huge amount of cheese. So I was asking Julia, so in their house there's 3 of them. There's her mum and dad and her. And I was asking her how long this block of cheese lasted, and she said less than a month. So basically, yeah, they're eating like over half a kilo of cheese a week. It's like, that's so much cheese. She did laugh at our cheese though, because you know our cheese comes in like little blocks. She's like, ha ha ha, that's not cheese. It is kept in the fridge, Jan. There's a dedicated shelf for cheese. Okay. The sketchbook, this swatch book's starting to get a bit loose. It's well thumbed. I think I want a yellow ochre as well, this one here. Cheese sisters. I just want to bring a little bit of variation in, so I'm just going to start with this yellow ochre pencil. See, that's my cut-off points, this little mark here, so I'll work in this section, probably between here and here. And again, I don't have to be exact with this, I'm just using it for reference. We can kind of come and go as we please a wee bit with this. There's a bit up the back there as well, up here. I'm trying to vary my pencil strokes here because I do want there to be texture, you know, I don't want this to look really smooth, but I don't want it to look too lumpy bumpy, so we're going to have to find a happy medium. I think that's fairly good. Hello Casvia, how are you? Yes, cheese with toast, I think would be more Thea's thing rather than cheese on toast. Although I'm sure she'll tell you. In Sweden, the other thing at breakfast was chorizo of all things. Yeah, that was their meat of choice. So a nice bit of like their sort of day-to-day bread that Julia uses is it's like what I would call a seeded batch. So it's a wholemeal loaf with lots of like seeds in it. So a slice of that with just a little scrape of butter, and then a couple of shaved bits of cheese, and then slap a bit of meat on top of it. Nom nom nom, yum yum. Still attempting to wake up, but slowly getting there. I was actually a wee bit paranoid. I've never slept in for anything in my life because I'm always up early, but see, just because I was up during the night, I was paranoid that I was going to sleep in. So I actually did set an alarm, but I obviously didn't need it because this is me we're talking about. But yeah, this morning could have been a disaster. I feel better, like slightly better, see, just for getting up and about, because obviously overnight I think you get quite congested anyway. So now that I'm kind of like the right way up, that's helped. Right, I think I'm just thinking about some of these other colours now. So I want to grab, I think sanguine, and the terracotta's not warm enough. Sanguine, and maybe grab a reddish colour. Because this part here is kind of going into purple. I think permanent carmine and sanguine. This might be too pinky, but we'll see. We shall see. Where is... I think I'm needing to have a wee reshuffle of my pencils. They are in like loose order in the case, but they're not quite right. And I think that they've just been shuffled about a bit too much, and I can't find them. Just try and get a couple of areas here, get some colour down. Right, let's see what this carmine looks like. Oh no, that might just do the job, especially if we layer it up with a little bit of some of the other colours. Bam! Oh, that's quite pretty. Oh, I'm gonna have to blow my nose again. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, better. Black Roses numbered her polychromos. tired of looking at the swatch cards to put them back in order. That's the thing, like I actually don't mind them being a little bit out of order as long as they're like loosely grouped by colour. But I mean, already we've been here half an hour, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I mean, and I'm sitting at 9 pencils, so when you get to that point, you do get kind of fed up looking for them. But Jem needs to cuddle up in bed again. Yeah, I foresee a lot of time on the sofa today. I think that might be a thing. I do have a few bits that I need to do, but Mr. Jem is off today, and that I'd kind of like, I'd forgotten about that. So I'm going to wait and see what he has planned for his day, because I may get him to take the dogs for a WALK. You know, I might absolve myself of that chore today. One thing I do really need to do is I've got a dragon palm plant that sits beside my front door, and it's not been doing very well. It seemed to be quite, like, they're quite fussy of where they like to be in terms of their environment, and it seemed to be quite happy beside the front door, and it hadn't been doing very well for the last couple of weeks, and I realised it's because the roots are poking out the bottom of the pot, like it needs repotted. So it's actually started to wilt, so I do need to repot that today because I don't want it to die. So I will need to make the effort to do that. But other than that, everything else can wait. And I'm hoping that, you know, even by tomorrow, I'm hoping that I'll feel a wee bit better again and I'll just have a bit more energy. Because right now there's none beans, like none beans in the tank anywhere. So, but it's really just that, like, Mr. Jem calls it a thick head. Like, see when you're not even congesting, but just like achy and heavy, and that's what's really bothering them. Like, my temples are throbbing. If that would go away, like, it would make a huge difference. But I think I'm just gonna have to sit it out. Okay, I want to find a purplish colour now. Because if you look here, the kind of centre part here, there's a lot of like pinky purple colours. That looks a wee bit lighter just because of the camera, but yeah, definitely some pinky purples. So I think I'm going to grab crimson. And maybe the manganese violet, just for fun. It's not a colour I use very often. As you can see by the length of the pencil, it's not a well used pencil of mine. So let's grab that. Just have a day dozing, watching fave films on the TV. Yeah, I pretty much, I slept more or less sitting up last night, because when I lay down I started to cough. So I was propped up with 2 pillows. Mr. Jem, because I went to bed early last night, and Mr. Jem's like, why are you sitting at such an odd angle? And I was like, so I don't cough. And he was like, aha, right, got you. It's like nothing to, like, worse than that. So I'm not really one for lying watching TV. I will probably, as long as my headache isn't too bad, I'll probably play computer games, but on the couch with my dogs. And maybe do it if the screen's bothering my head, then I might just do some drawing. I could carry on with this wee mushroom, big mushroom. So I'm kind of doing here what I normally do. I'm just kind of like mapping out where I want the colours. Obviously, after this I'll build up subsequent layers and blend it all together. But I just kind of want to get the placement of where I want the pink-ish colours and then the purplish colours. And we'll get that in. It was really nice when Julia and I were arting in the studio. Julia has a very different way of working to me. Like, we are very, very different. I think she was mildly insulted because when we went into the studio, she gave me like her seat and she sat round the opposite side of the table. You know, there was space like across from each other, and she has everything out in front of her and she just grabbed things at random. Like, she wouldn't work with one set of pencils. Her coloured pencils, she has them in pots and they're grouped by colour, so all the brands are together but all the yellows are in one pot and all the greens are in another. But she has all of her art supplies spread out, and rather than working in a medium, she just picks things at random, and that's something that I never do. So this wee mushroom, the first one that I did when I was over there, this one, that was a product of that particular sort of setup. So I started with watercolour. This is Neo Colours round the outside, and I've got Posca pen, and there's little acrylic brush markers in here, and a bit of coloured pencil as well. So I used a lot of different mediums, and they were just because they were lying about. The downside to that though is that there's stuff everywhere, and because I'm left-handed, where Julia would sit her supplies was like where my elbow would rest, and I had to start moving it all out the way. And like I couldn't live like that. I'm very like organised and everything's always very tidy, but it was really nice to just have everything there, you know, because you get quite creative. But I was really struggling for space, so I kind of started like, I was doing it absent-mindedly, but I was like tidying up. And Julia's like, are you implying that I'm messy? And I was like, maybe. So I don't know, she might have been mildly insulted, but she's very good-natured about it. But I needed breathing space, you know. But it was quite a nice experience in terms of actually creating something and just grabbing whatever was to hand. I quite liked that. Hades 2 is out on the Switch, so now you'll be doing that. Very good, Jan. Anyone doing any October drawing challenges? Not a drawing challenge, Katara, but I did pick up Hannah Carlson's Halloween book when I was in Sweden. And I also asked, in the bookstore that we went to, I asked for a bag in Swedish by myself. Julia let me go to the counter and do it myself. So I did ask the man if he spoke English, which he said yes. And I said, can I try in Swedish? And he said yes. And I asked for a bag and he said, very good. I was like... So yeah, I've picked up that book. So one thing I want to do before we finish up today is I want you guys to help me pick a page out of that, because all through October, every live stream that we do, 1 hour will be dedicated to colouring in that book. So we're going to have like a spooky hour, and we'll do that all through the month of October, right up until the end of the month. When I post tomorrow about the paint colours, I'll also post the schedule for the live streams for October, so that you know when we're streaming and what we're doing. Black Rose, I miss someone to cuddle up to when I don't feel well. Do you know, it's funny, I'm the opposite. I don't want anybody to touch me when I'm not well. I don't mind the dogs being with me, but I don't want other humans touching me. I don't like it. Like, just go away and leave me alone. I'm one of those people as well, like, I know that like there seems to be two camps, but see, if I'm being physically sick, I want everyone to just go away and leave me alone. And I know some people that like to have someone like rub their back and stuff. I'm like, I'm not that person. I'm like, just go away. So no, it'll be probably me and Pippi today. Okay, Michelle, see you later. Thanks for coming in. Cassia is tempted by every single October challenge I see, but no, won't have the time to follow through with any of them. Yeah, you can pick and choose. There's nothing to say. Thea gets stressed out. Oh. Yeah, that's the thing, Ulrika. Like, I actually quite like it. I'm not that I would partake in like a drawing a challenge, because again, I just don't have time. But I do really enjoy like watching other people and seeing what other people do, because it can be quite, it can be quite inspirational. Yeah, that's the right word. I would say so. Thea's like that all the time. Just don't touch me. The Katara just sticks to pencil. That's a really good way to compromise though, and give yourself a realistic goal. If you're just going to sketch or stick to like graphite or something, that's a nice way to be able to do stuff without having to go in too deep. Lost my reference photo. Getting harassed by Duolingo this morning because I didn't do a Swedish lesson yesterday. And I haven't done one today yet, obviously. Duolingo's quite aggressive. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like this or not. My Swedish is coming on okay though. I'm really struggling with plurals. But I think Julia's gonna like sit down and give me like an actual lesson. Like we'll do it on FaceTime or something, because there's a set of rules, but it's not really a set of rules, and I notice that a lot with Swedish. Normally, if you've got a grammar rule or a vocabulary rule or whatever, it'll apply maybe like 70 to 80% of the time. In Swedish, it's more like 40. It gets very confused very quickly. Black Rose tried Mermy a couple of years ago. It found it only feature digital art. Fair enough. Oh no, I'm out of tea. This, for anyone that's interested, particularly people in the UK, this is strawberry Ribena, sugar free. Oh, that tastes nice too. Oh dear, like a child. Give me all the sweet things. A little bit of this. I notice as well there's some quite defined edges here, like with these sort of darker colours, if you see that arc there. So when we come to the top layers, I can be quite, make that quite definitive, and then we can sort of blend in the bits underneath as well. Casvia can finish a 30-day challenge if you do quick, tiny drawings. Then you don't feel like you're doing art the way you want to. I know it's kind of conflicting, isn't it? Well, let's see these last few days. In fact, I'll just share this with you just now. Seeing as we're a little select group here, and we're things are fairly relaxed this morning. Just to share what I've done in the last few days. So bearing in mind I was in Sweden for 5 days. So this is what we did at the last live stream. So that was last Wednesday, a week past Wednesday, and we were working on this is for part of a video that's going to be coming up after the cave discoveries. So I started this little squirrel as well, and I sketched a little bit of this in the airport just while I was waiting on the way over. Again, I was travelling myself, so I did that, but I finished that off in the studio at the same time as this little mushroom. And these were art supplies that were sort of kicking about in Julia's studio. So, but she had on a page in her sketchbook, when she's finished with her acrylic paint, if there's anything left, she doesn't waste it. She just finds a blank page in her sketchbook and literally just scribbles it down, so she's not wasting the paint. And then when she's feeling inspired by that particular colour, she'll come back to that page and do something on it. So she had colours like this scribbled on a sketchbook page, and she decided she wanted to do something with it. So she'd started drawing these wee fluffy clouds, and I said to her, I was like, oh, that should be like a seascape. I think you should put a boat in it. So she started doing that, and I was like, well, do you know what, I'm gonna match her energy. So she had a packet randomly of, and this is exactly the kind of thing that you would find in Julia's studio, she had a packet of the top trumps cards, but it was traditional battleships and yachts from all the different countries in Europe. It was so random. So I picked her a boat to put in her picture, and picked one for myself. This is a Danish boat, by the way, in case you're interested. So we just did that randomly, but I wasn't expecting anything, you know, I wasn't going to do a detailed drawing. I only wanted to spend 10 or 15 minutes. So I mean, this is very simple. So this was a wee bit of nail colour in the background and just some Posca pens. And these were Karen brush markers. So not the way I would normally want to art, and not the way I normally do art. You know, this is more my kind of thing up here. But I had really, really good fun doing this. So, you know, sometimes it's nice to not art the way you would normally art, but I understand what you're saying about, you know, if you're doing it every day kind of thing. But I mean, there's 3 very different ways of arting in one page, and that was all completed over the space of a couple of days. I did, Julia bought me a little set of Lego flowers, which I left behind by accident. They're in her pen pot in the studio because I'd propped them up in amongst all her pens so that I could draw them. And that's just coloured pencil, and I finished that off at home. And this one here, Julie and I went into her local town, and they've built this new wooden bridge across the river. There's no handrails or anything, which is wild to me because you wouldn't be allowed to do that in the UK. But the idea is that you can sit on these parts and you can look out across, you know, the water, and there's this park, and there's loads of sculptures in the park. So Julie and I walked around and looked at all the sculptures. So this was a case of, we sat down at this sort of wooden bridge. There was the same sort of idea on this side, so we were sitting on this side, like it was almost like a set of bleachers, and we were painting the view. But it was a beautiful bright sunny day, and the sun was moving so quickly, so the shadows were changing all the time. So it was a case of like, just slap down what you can. Julia is much more experienced at that than me, and she literally spat out an entire landscape in the maybe like hour we were sitting there, and that was as far as I got. But I'd taken a photograph. So again, not something I would normally do. Much as I like to draw landscapes, I never ever actually sit and do it in real time. So that was quite a nice experience for me as well. So, you know, I've had a lot of variation in the things that I've done even in the last week or so, but it was really good for me because I hadn't really arted for pleasure for such a long time. And much as I enjoy doing the videos for the cave and everything, you know, sometimes it's nice to do things just because, and to branch out a wee bit was even nicer. So it definitely scratched an itch for me. But there's definitely merit to trying things that you wouldn't normally do. And I mean, you guys know I used to do it all the time with the subscription boxes. That was, you know, there was a lot of things I wouldn't have tried if I hadn't had those subscription boxes. Get my reference photo back. We've got another really cool mushroom as well. This one. Oh, look at this one. Ooh. I think that one would be pretty fun to do at some point as well. Our mushrooms are just starting to come up here now, so I will have my own ones to add to this as well. Right, back to what we were doing. Sidetracked. Do you like the blob of colours and sparkle on the bottom right? That's a sticker. We're talking about this one. It's actually, see if I tip it, you'll be able to see the edge of the sticker. That was just sitting on Julia's desk, and I was like, ooh, and she's like, do you want it? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you can have it. It would be a great sticker. Yeah, it's a sticker. It's a sticker. Will you carry on with these new ways, a bit of non-urban sketching? I don't know, maybe. One thing I do want to do, and I didn't do it this year, and it was just because of the situation with my mum. My local village, which is very small, by the way, it's not a big place at all. They have their own artists society, and from what I've gathered, it is mostly ladies of a certain age, shall we say. But they have a little exhibition. Like our village is really busy. It's a bustling wee place. I was telling somebody the other day that we have a Persian rug sale twice a year in the village hall. It's quite an interesting wee place, but there's a really good sense of community. So they have like a proper art exhibition in the village hall once a year, and it's the art society that organises it. But you don't have to be a member to exhibit your paintings. And everybody goes just because it's a wee village and people like to go and see, like to be nosy. I decided that I would maybe not join the art society. I think it's mostly watercolour painting, but definitely get in touch and sort of explore that avenue, because Mr. Jem and I have decided that we're staying here. We're both very happy and we're starting to settle now, so it's time to kind of start making friends and integrating a bit into the community. So that's something that I would really like to do. So the next time they have an exhibition, exhibition, it sounds so grand. I would like to go down and just sort of get to know people. But it was actually the postmistress. That's the first person I make friends with. We've moved so many times, but because I go to the post office multiple times a week, I usually get to know the post office staff very well. So our local post office is basically like a wee tiny gift shop. But they sell like morning rolls and newspapers and stuff. Like, it's a little bit of everything. And the lady that runs that, she is my favourite person. Like, she reminds me a lot of my gran, so my mum's mum, like in a lot of ways. But she's kind of taken me under her wing, and if I need to know something, like, I know, like, she's the oracle, you go and ask her. And it was her that said to me, she says, you do realise that we've got there's a group of artists and they've got a club like you, and she was encouraging me. She's like, oh, you should go and make yourself known. But I think this time as well, this is the second year that I'm doing the Christmas card for the village as well, so I feel as if like I'm a bit more established, and I might be taken a bit more seriously if they know that about me, which sounds a bit weird, but I know what I mean. I think it's that sort of like wanting to be accepted, and like I'm actually like a proper artist. So I'll definitely want to. That's like goals for me for next year. And I have to say, everyone around here is so friendly. Like, it's a really, really nice, sort of welcoming place to be. And I was quite sort of sceptical at first because, like, shame on me for judging, but it's quite an affluent area, and as I say, most of the people that live here are all like over 70. And there's always that little bit of fear of judgment as well, because obviously we're farmers. Like, we're not sitting in like £1 million houses and all the rest of it, but there's no like snottiness or anything, and it's really, really nice. It's very refreshing. And being Scottish, I mean, we're just friendly folks anyway, but you know how you get that village mentality. Persian Scottish rugs need to be seen. The next time there is a Persian rug sale, Jan, I will go down and I will get some photographs for you. You have to meet up with people. Well, this is the thing as well, like that, everything I've just talked about, that involves people in. It involves people in, and I'm like, Ed, I really want to be doing that. Okay, I feel like this is going well. I'm getting impatient now because I want to start layering this up, and I can't do that until I've covered this whole area. So this is gonna just have to persevere here. I do want more of a brighter orange for this front section here. So I'm actually going to pick an actual orange. I think that the dark chrome yellow with a little bit of the sanguine over the top of it might be the right shout. Does this look like a good palette? I think I've done fairly well with picking them out so far. A black rose would actually want to meet new people to hang out with, or a possible partner, but yeah, people. I always said that, like, see if something happened to Mr. Jem, I don't think I could, like, I think I would rather be on my own. Yeah, that's a good shout, Thea. Well, that's the thing though, if you go to these things, you know you've got a common ground with people, because that's the reason that you're there, and I think that's always a good starting point. And if you don't like it, you don't have to go back, is the other thing as well. It's like I tried in one of the many places we've lived. This was a long time ago. I joined a running club because I was running a lot at that point. I was running like 40 miles a week. You know, it was a lot. Oh, here we go again. Excuse me. Oh dear. Yeah, I joined a running club and I really enjoyed the running part of it, but I didn't actually like how sociable people were. Because I just felt as if a lot of people were just there to chat, and I'm like, if you're chatting that much, like you should be putting that energy and be running faster. But I realised that for a lot of them it was the social aspect, and that's why they were actually there, and that's not what I was there for. I was there to run with the big boys so that I would run faster like that, you know, and it wasn't for me at all. It really did help me improve my running, and I learned a lot, but I just did not enjoy it at all. There was too much that and not enough running for my liking. But what it also did was it you know, I became acquaintances with people that lived near me as well. So if I saw them in the, you know, in the village or whatever, I would stop and have a wee chat and say hello. But that was about as far as it went. Just not for me at all. That's the wrong pencil, Jem. Come on. Just not that sociable. But that really just solidified the fact that I am a lone runner, and that's never going to change. I just like to be out on my own. Which I also did in Sweden, by the way, and it was amazing. It was really, really hard because it was really hilly. But I ran 10 kilometres. That's the first time in a long time I've run 10 kilometres. And I left my legs behind, like literally. There's this really horrible hill about 8 kilometres in, so I was tired by that point. I was also soaking wet as well. I got absolutely like dumped upon, like just this torrent of rain. And I thought at one point I was like, I don't actually know if I could even walk back to the house at this point. But I just dug in. But it was lovely. Running in amongst the trees, it was great. It was weird running on the wrong side of the road as well. Because if you're running on a road with no pavement, you run into the traffic unless you hit a tight bend and then you switch sides. So obviously in the UK, I'm used to running on the right so that I'm facing oncoming traffic, and in Sweden I had to remember to run on the other side. It was very strange. It was very cool though. But yeah, there was that little bit of recovery after that. I was like, oh my poor legs. I should have been out running yesterday as well, but I just like obviously not feeling well. Can't do it, so I'm gonna have to give it a day or two and try and get back out again. Are you okay, Jock? Jock's just woken up. He's been snoozing. Oh, Black Rose doesn't want to be alone. Well, that's, some people are really happy. Like, as I say, obviously I want to keep Mr. Jem. I kind of like him. I just think that, you know, he's my person though, and if something happened, number one, I don't think I would find anyone that would match up to what he is. But I just don't. I think I wouldn't want to. I'm quite happy in my own company. I spend a lot of time on my own anyway, and I'm perfectly at peace with that. But I understand everybody's different. I do have friends that love nothing more than like a house full of people and like to be surrounded by family and friends and dogs, and I'm not that person. I prefer a much more peaceful and solitary existence. But that's what makes us all different, and that's what makes life interesting, I think, anyway. Jan hadn't thought of the other side of the road yet. It's a bit odd. Oh, getting my advice from Jan, I very much need to not run. Yeah, no. Once the congestion's cleared up a bit, I'll probably take the dogs on a longer WALK than I would normally do, and I'll maybe do that a day or two. And my first run back, once I'm feeling better, will be very slow, very easy, and I'll just do a couple of miles and see how I get on and just go from there. Black Rose needed a break from it. Yeah, sometimes it's good to take a breather as well. When my best friend died, her widower announced that he would never find another woman like her, and so he wouldn't try. He did find a lovely man, and they are now married. Well, to be fair, he stuck to his word. He didn't find another woman. Yeah, well, you've got, the thing is as well, Black Rose, you've got stuff to work on. You've got your little house and your doors. How are you getting on with your doors? You know, you've got that stuff. Sometimes it's good to take a bit of space, figure out what's what. Right, now this back bit here, up the very top, we can't really see, we can just see the edge there, but that's like a sort of more of a deep reddish colour with a little bit of this purple on the top. I've got dark red or maybe even magenta. Again, you just pull these out here. I was thinking, yeah, maybe magenta might be a better idea, just so that we can deepen down. You know, if I put that over the top of the permanent carmine, that would probably be a good idea. Let's grab the magenta. That's there. I say that as well, Thea, like, you know, when people are talking about wanting to date and all the rest of it, I'm like, you'll trip over someone when you least expect it. Oh, so nothing going on at home this weekend. Okay. I kind of want to work on this section now, so at least I've got that half done. But see, I've got a very, very white edge here, so I'm going to have to be careful that I don't go into that too much. So I've got this kind of yellowish patch here. I'll put that in. And then it more or less goes straight into these reds and purples here. Again, I need like a reference point though. So we've got this purplish part stops roughly there. Again, well, I'm not really, I'm not going to the letter here, but I'll just pop that wee line in so that I know where to stop. Okay, so purplish bits in there. There's sections that are quite pale there as well. I'll pop that in there. There's definite texture as well. Like you can see more of the lines like you can down in this front part compared to the middle part, which is a bit more sort of smooshy. So many colours it is, isn't it? It's lovely. Right guys, I'm going to take a wee bit of a break just now. It's 20, yeah, it's 20 to 8, and I'm feeling a wee bit dry. I'm going to go and make myself another cup of tea, and I'll be back in a wee minute. So if you want to talk about what you're having for your breakfast or your lunch, then feel free, and I'll be back in just a wee jiffy, and I'm going to go and blow my nose again as well. Sorry about that, guys. That was an effort. Like that was a lot. Walking about is difficult. Ulrika's pub landlord is the matchmaker, landlady. Oh, she passed away. Oh, that's sad. Black Rose got her license in the car because of her ex. Every cloud has a silver lining and all that jazz. Thank you, Thea. Hello, Jock. Are you coming to say hi? I think he's woken up a wee bit now. Earlier I just caught a sight of my hair in the mirror as well. Like, wild this morning. I see you. I'm a good boy. Oh. Can you hear him making noises? What is it? Do you want to come up? He doesn't like to jump up anymore. I think he's just too stiff for it now. Everybody's here. Everybody says hi. Yeah. You're a good boy. He's just getting so old now. You're the goodest boy. Right, you go and settle down now. Oh no, I'm still getting pod. Priorities, people. We're in a live stream. We've got to pet the dog. Is the goodest boy. I brought him to show you as well. I've done the first run of the light source stickers. I gave Jock and Pip the packing paper out of an Amazon parcel yesterday, and Jock's just found it on the floor again. This is like the most unprofessional live stream ever. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with these. They've turned out cracking actually. So again, that's one of the things I want to look at in the next few weeks is doing the Hillbilly Internet sticker. That's the next one we're going for. Now that I've got this done and dusted. I was a bit concerned about how well the yellow was going to stand out just because it's on a white background, but I think you'll agree that that's just it's just good stuff. It's pretty good. Quite happy with that. So it was a very, very productive day yesterday after I'd finished my proper job. Maybe we need a joke, Cam. Oh dear. Right, okay, anyway, back to... I'm going to have to blow my nose again. This is ridiculous. I'm really sorry, guys. Right. The only thing about the stickers is I don't know whether I need to make them a bit smaller. That is quite a big sticker. If you've got any thoughts on that, please let me know. Usually my stickers are a wee bit smaller than that. But I kind of like that size because you can see a bit more of the, you know, the colours and the blending and stuff. I know all the moving about's dislodged things, Jan. That's disgusting. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. I've never loved a cup of tea so much my entire life as I do now. Right. Let's pop this back in the frame. So we definitely need to have more pink on the go up here. Haven't had any stirrings from Mr. Jem yet. The cave is next door to our bedroom, and I haven't heard any movement at all. So he's been really tired. Obviously, he's been looking after things while I've been away, but he's been really busy at work as well. So I think he probably needs to recharge the batteries a wee bit too. He is one of these people though, he would sleep through a nuclear explosion, so I'm not too worried about waking him up. Thea likes the big sticker, but I can see use for a smaller version too. Can Jan be awkward and suggest 2 sizes? Well, I could do 2 sizes. I could sell the bigger one on its own, you know, just like a standalone, and make a smaller version to go in the set with the pointy point and the others. If I had one in the sketchbook, it might make me pay attention to a consistent light source. Fair point. I know every time you pulled your sketchbook out, you'd be like, oh, there's Jem, find your light source. Yeah, it's not too big a job to do it in 2 sizes. It's really not. I'm getting loads of Reddit notifications this morning. I don't know what's going on with that. Jock's now doing the tour of the beds. This is, we think it's like a bit of a doggy dementia thing. So he's plonked himself down. He's got his orthopaedic bed, like his proper bed under the desk here. But I've also got a separate plastic bed that Pip sleeps in sometimes. You know, it's just got blankets in it. So he goes from his orthopaedic bed to Pip's bed and then over here to the radiator. He likes to lie against the radiator. And he's just got this little triangle and he just goes back and forth. He doesn't seem distressed in any way though. He's just like kind of plods round and does the rounds, so to speak. So we just leave him to do it. The wee sausage. Okay, I really need to get into these purples and pinks here. See, this bit's much smoother. There is a little bit of white showing there though as well. Or maybe not white, but paler. So I'll need to, it's not really an issue just now, but when I come to do the subsequent layers, I'll just need to bear that in mind and leave some patches without layering it up. I feel like I could go over this whole area with this colour and then just add in the this manganese violet, you know, on top. There really is a fine line between the texture here and getting the colour right. There's quite a lot of variation, but I like that because it makes it interesting. Oh, did you hear that vibrating, Thea? Well, you watercolour away, Black Rose. That's what it's all about. Pop a little patch in there. I've got a really strong notion to get those pastel pencils out again. Remember the video I did where I compared all the pastel pencils? Oh, And that reminds me as well, I'm going to pop a couple of those sets in the stash shop along with Julia's paints on Monday. I'm keeping the Carbothellos and the Caran d'Ache ones because they were a fortune. But the other pastel pencils that I tried out, I'm going to pop them in the shop. So if anybody would like to try them, they will be there for a bargain price, as always. And you can give them a wee bash and see what you think. See, it looks as if there's a yellow bit in there, which I've completely missed. Let's see if we can pop it in one of these lighter areas. Okay, I feel like we're getting somewhere. There's definitely more red down here. And the orange. Thea's saving up for the Derwent Drawing 72 set. I told Julia about those pencils while I was away. She had no idea, and she loves those pencils. She's got about 3 or 4 sets of them. And I thought she was going to internally combust, so she was straight on to find where she could get them. She uses those pencils a lot. And Julia works primarily in watercolour, but if she's going for pencil, that's like her first choice. So she was incredibly excited about that. Okay, so my little blemishes over here. I'm going to take this sepia. I've got this little dot here, so I'll pop that in roughly about there. I say I'm not going for an exact science here, just purely a wee reference. I feel like I can't remember when I zoomed out so much. There. Oh, so I was showing you the stickers as well, wasn't it? Yeah. So I feel as if I can kind of come and go as I please a wee bit here with the colours, as long as I've kind of got them roughly in the right places. I don't feel like this is too much of a big deal. Again, the more we get into the middle, we'll go back to this sort of like circular motion, because the colours seem to be a lot smoother in this middle part. And this is where I want to start to incorporate some of this magenta colour as well in this middle section. Magenta? Yeah, magenta. I don't know why that posed such a problem for me there. Brain clearly not firing on all cylinders today. Again, a bit like I do when I'm colouring, I'm just kind of like signposting for myself here. This paper takes quite a few layers of pencil, so I'm happy to see it now. Okay, hang on. Looking at this top edge here, I've got another little blemish, so I'm going to pop that in probably about there. That's got a little bit of a halo around it, but that gives me like another marker so I can work from here to there. Just work my way around it steadily. Black Rose would like to get some Brunsell pastel pencils one day. I don't know if you'd use them enough. Can you get them open stock? I know Artsy Endo's saying they can't believe they've expanded the drawing set. A lot of people have waited a long time for this. They are really, really good pencils. It's a dream come true. It really is. I absolutely love using the Derwent drawing pencils and use them in conjunction with the artist pencils, because the artist pencils are really, really hard and they hold a point forever. And that's just a lovely like tandem brand usage. I love using those sets of pencils together. And I've got quite a lot of the artist pencils, and I like them because you can get so much detail, because I draw a lot of animals, and the artist pencils are great for fur details, and you like hardly have to sharpen your pencil at all. So good. So good. Right, so along this back edge, I'm deliberately leaving this rough because, see, there's these wee white, that wee white edge is just showing there. But we can work around that. And there's a rather large red area here. Maybe a little bit purple in there too, just for funsies. So for anyone coming in, this is going to look like the 5-year-old's drawing, but this is where we've got to trust the process. It does look very scratchy and patchy at the moment, but by the time I'm finished, it will look slightly more mushroom-esque. Open stock, not sketch. It says so early. Cassavia has fallen quiet, picked up a brush to start painting. Not quite happy with the colour of my mushrooms though. In the spirit of the stream, I think I'll just go with pencils to fix it. Pencils fix everything. Well, most of the time. Archie Endo bought a few pro colours because they heard they're good for hair fur. Haven't tried them yet. I think I'll end up with a full Derwent range of products. I would highly recommend Derwent everything apart from their pastel pencils. I am a big fan of the Derwent stuff, as I'm sure most of you know anyway. Will always recommend. Thea's in her sketchbook too. Exciting times. Akitara's playing Minecraft. I haven't played Minecraft for ages. Thea said the same thing. Ah, that's funny. I haven't played it in such a long time. I'm jumping between. Well, if some of you know, I fired up my old Nintendo DS, so I've been playing Animal Crossing Wild World, so proper vintage Animal Crossing, which I just love. That's scratching the Animal Crossing itch for me just now. But I'm also playing Cozy Grove, and I recently finished a short kind of like story game called Firewatch on the PC. I was playing it on my Steam Deck, and it's really, really good. I really liked it. It was something a wee bit different for a change. I'm kind of hankering for some zombie scariness though. So I don't know what I'm going to use to scratch that itch just yet, but I'm sure I'll find something suitable. Something to tickle my fancy. Thea's Nintendo itch is getting so bad. Do I know the game Phasmophobia? Yes, I do. Jan loaded up her DS and forgotten how basic the graphics are. Well, that's something I've been struggling with, and it took me a wee while to get my eye in again on Animal Crossing when you're looking for the fossils on the ground. You know, because it shows up as like wee cracks in either the grass or the earth, and they're really difficult to spot on the DS because the graphics are just not that great. The game did come out in 2005 though, you know, it's 20 years old, so I'll give it a pass. But yeah, it took me a wee bit of adjustment there as well. You don't like scary, but you'd be inclined to play that with someone if there's interest. Absolutely, 100%. I've got your back. I love scary games. Yeah, I was kind of looking at my, I was doing a bit of budgeting when I came back from Sweden, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to fit everything in, because I still need to buy a new pair of running shoes, and that's going to have to happen fairly soon. But obviously I really want to buy a Switch 2 as well, but I'm also, I've still got another holiday to go on. I'm away at the beginning of November again, so that's more money as well. So I'm like Mrs. Spendy Pants just now. It's not like me either. But I will be factoring in a Nintendo Switch at some point. On the plus side, I won an award at work, and the prize, I got a prize for it, and it's £200 in Amazon vouchers. So might be able to put that to good use. I was like, ooh, just a wee bonus that I wasn't expecting. It did make me laugh though. Like, what are you doing giving me awards? Right, I'm going to start on this edge down here now. I don't want that pencil though. I'm going to go back to my cream pencil and this light yellow ochre, and try and get, like, really concentrating on the texture here. So from the top of that ridge down, you can see there's quite a lot of lines and stuff there. So I think the challenge here is to keep the angle of the lines right so that we can show that, like, the way that it curves round. This is quite awkward. I might have to go at a jaunty angle. And I'll work round past here and just join these two bits up now. There's quite a lot of brown in this section here as well, and up here. So again, we'll bear that in mind as we work our way around. Just start with this cream pencil though. It's a date, Gem. Whee! Ooh, you are oohing a lot this morning, Thea. I love a really good ooh. I like a good ooh too, but without the H on the end. I'm a ooher with just O's. Oh dear. I'll sharpen this up again. Right, I think it's safe to say that I can retire the old Tegal. This one's working great. Every now and then you get one that's just a dud. There was a run of pink ones, and they just didn't work. Like, when you put a pencil in and turned it, nothing happened. Thankfully, I haven't come across that for a long time. But I think we can safely retire this bad boy. It's not doing anything anymore. We'll say goodbye. I wonder if I can recycle the plastic on this. Oh. Excuse me. You've done a good job, Tegal. I also grab the Bistra here. Oh, sniffing again. Good grief today. The lids on the Tegals just stop closing quite quickly. Something I've found that helps with that, I don't know if this is a thing for you, but I'm quite guilty of, see when I've had it set to a number, I don't close it after I've finished using it and it sits on like a number 5 or a number 4. I've found if you close it off after you use it, this lasts a lot longer before it starts to not close properly. Does that make sense? But that's quite common, I think, with those sharpeners. It's not ideal if you're taking it, if you're travelling about with it, because obviously you end up with like shavings in the bottom of your bag or whatever. Not so much of a thing for me because I hardly ever go anywhere. But yeah, that is a thing. But I am very guilty of leaving it open a lot of the time, and it definitely doesn't help. To warm this up a bit. Some of these lines extend quite far in as well, so I'm going to be a bit more liberal with my strokes here, especially when I come round to like this side. A wee flicky motion on the go. We do like a good flicky motion. Start bringing those all the way up. Oh goodness me, Jock's fast asleep again. In Pip's bed. Gone for a snooze. I feel like I want to turn this way now. Ooh. Yeah, that's better. That's a bit easier. I think I was just making things difficult for myself there. Yeah, I feel like we're making progress now. Like I feel like we're getting there. So for this top corner, although there's a lot of red there, there is a very orange undertone there. So I'm going to cover that whole section with this orange glaze, and then I'll pop some of this permanent carmine down on top of it. Because with these pencils we do have a bit of transparency. Because there's almost like a divide there. Where the mushroom kind of steps in, so we can take advantage of that while we're here. And again, that texture is very apparent, so we'll try and make that the case. Do you think aloe vera toilet roll is just for people to blow their noses on? The this one that I've got, it's got coconut oil in it. It smells lovely. That's why the only reason I'm happy to blow my nose on it. It's just not quite as harsh. I feel like there's some stuff going on up here. But that's very red round there. So again, we've got a wee bit of a ring around that. Well, while this looks terrible right now, it will look better once we start blending everything in. There's a couple of wee spaces there. And again, the texture sort of disappears at that point. We'll maybe come back to this sort of colour, and then back into our crimson. There's something quite satisfying about joining all these little patchy parts up. That you're like, progress. And for this section here, this is mostly orange to a point. And then this sort of purpley pinkish bit, it kind of keeps out a wee bit, but it's not terribly prominent. Okay, so again, I think I'll just go with a bit of the orange glaze here. The art live that includes thoughts on bog roll, the total package. I like to be all encompassing, even when I'm sick. I have to say I've perked up a wee bit, which is nice, but I still don't think there's going to be much happening today. I do not think I will be being a hero at any point today. Just trying to keep my hand as light as possible here as well. See, all these scribble marks will disappear when I start to build things up, but we need to get there first. There's an awful lot of orange here. It's funny, this is one of those ones, like, the more you look at the reference image, the more colours that you see, and you're like, oh, okay. There's all sorts going on in there. Oh, I can hear my little birdies. It's that time of day. They're starting to come to the feeder. It's usually the little blue tits at this time of the day. They're very cute. Okay, right, I just want to kind of do a bit more on this back edge now, because I feel as if I've kind of abandoned it a wee bit, but that's not really going to show up until I put some sort of background, so I'll probably do similar. Another sneeze coming on. Yeah, I'll probably do similar here to what I did with this here, and just put some sort of green squishiness round a bit, or maybe even like a greyish green colour, just purely to highlight that back edge because it is so pale. And you can see that runs right along there. So I don't want to worry too much about that, but this still feels a bit abandoned. And there is a darker part here as well, so I'll maybe try and pop in some more of these lines. I really need to sharpen this up for this though. I was really confused by Janet asking the time. I'm like, it's definitely not 4 in the afternoon, but you're asking about the Rugby World Cup. I wish I could say I'm getting hungry too, Black Rose, but see, my appetite seems to have deserted me. I think just like today, like tea is the answer. It doesn't matter what the question is, tea is the answer. That's better. A bit more of a pointy point. I want to make this a bit more uneven as well, like to give me a bit more of an interesting edge there. That's a bit better. There's a lot of white round there as well. Okay, I think I'm happy that this does look furry now. It looks as if I've given it a fuzzy edge. God. Alright, okay, so I'm gonna take my darker colour now. So I've got this magenta and manganese violet, and I really want to focus on this area in the middle. And then there's a sort of darker section here as well. So again, this is quite a common technique for me. Once I've got like a first layer down, I like to either go to the lightest parts or the darkest parts and then work my way back, kind of thing. Usually start with the darkest colours though. I'm trying my hardest not to sniff, guys. Ulrika, I shall watch the first game upstairs and then commandeer the living room TV for the England game. How exciting. Quite like a bit of rugby. Okay. So this part here is quite smooth. So basically I want to join up this dark part with this dark part now. But there is quite a defined line between those sections, so we can work away here. Build up some colour. Ooh. Start to get some of those shapes and you know where the colours change over as well. Obviously it's not like uniform blobs per se. Yeah, that's nice. Okay guys, I'm going to stop there with this. You can start to see where I'm going. Obviously there's still work to do. Still got the stem to do. But I really wanted to have a wee look at this colouring book and have you guys pick out the page that we're going to start in the next live stream, which I'm anticipating will be Wednesday. It depends how quickly I get well again, because I do have some filming and other things to do. Oh, you watched rugby with your dad? Mama Gemini, it was athletics. Okay, right. So let's pop this away. I feel like that's a good bit of progress on that though, considering where we started. And I feel like we've done a good job with the colour picking. We just need to build the layers up now and smooth things out a wee bit, and I shall worry about the stock and the background another time. So let's pop this out the road. I'm going to leave all these pencils out though because that's the colours I was using. Look how pretty they all look together. So good. Let me just grab this book. Right. This is such a pretty book. I'm sure for those of you that like to colour, you'll have seen some flip throughs and stuff by now. But does anybody have a particular page that they would want to start with? Or is there one where you think, ooh. I am going to do the nameplate page. I'll do that myself in my own time. But I don't know whether, because I was thinking for the live streams, one of the pages with the itty bitty things on might be good because we could finish like one or two, because bearing in mind we're going to be doing these in like hour chunks. So I think that this might be an idea, but I think some of you might be more inclined to pick, you know, a big picture and we can just work towards it. I particularly like this one though, with the wonky houses and little ghosties and everything. That's one of my favourites. But see, we've got Stranger Things like this as well. Like that might be quite fun to colour. There was another one that kind of caught my eye as well, and I thought, oh, that would be good for the live stream. I can't remember where it was now though. I really like this one too. That's a lot of work though. So then we've got a great big double page there as well. I don't think we would get that finished in the month though. A little pumpkin portrait here. Where is the one? I love this basket one as well with the flowers. So nice. The cover's making you want it. The thing I like about Hannah's books is there's always so much variation in the subject matter. You know, there's always portraits, there's always animals, and you usually get one or two double pages as well. So, you know, you can take whatever tickles your fancy. There's another page with individual things. We could maybe go for that. Thea's colouring the one with the frog and the witch hat. This one. I really like that one as well. Froggy Shop. And then we've got someone picking up all our tricky treaty things. See, this is quite cool as well. I like this one too. The pumpkins are not enough variety, okay. This would be fun with the eyes. I kind of like that idea too. Maybe not for the live stream, right enough. Yeah, I thought this one might be a good one as well because there's, you know, you've got 3 mushrooms there. So like in one live stream you could do this bottom section here, and then, you know, in another one you could do the mushrooms, and then you could do the slugs with wings. Slugs with bat wings. Dragon slugs. Okay, yeah, dragon slugs. I was going with bat slugs, but yeah. Or we could do a mandala type one as well, because again you could split that into 4 and you could just do a section per live stream. You're saying about the cat, do you know, I was thinking you could have like sparkly eyes and stuff. I think you could make that very uncreepy if you wanted to, or you could make it extra creepy, to be fair. That would be an option. I also like the snow globe one as well. There's lots of things I like in here. Dragon bat. He would go for the extra creepy. Jan likes the slugs and mushrooms one. I like this as well, but I don't think it's enough for a live stream. Same with this one. Like, this is a lovely image, but not really fitting for what we want. He really likes the flying slugs as well. And we've got some little poison bottles here as well. That might be a good one. You know, if we're going to go for the itty bitty ones, we've got little poison bottles, and we've got pumpkins in bottles, and candles in bottles, snakes, snaky. That's an eyeball. I was like, what's that? It's an eyeball. And you've got wee ghosties that have escaped here. I kind of like that one. Oh, what about this? There's lots of fun things here. You like to see me colour the frog, just see how we're interpreting it differently. Well, maybe I'll do that. Oh, this is a bit too much. I like this one as well. Okay, right. So let's have a wee quick. I think for me personally, I have to come over to this screen over here. Too many screens. I'll just stick a wee poll up. So, big page. Pick a page. Houses. Flying slugs. Or the potion bottles. Potion? Helps if you spell it right, Jem. If you want to take a wee vote on that, that would be grand. And that means we'll be set up, ready to go for our next live stream. Somebody's straight in there with the flying slugs. Hi, Martin. You've come in just at the end. I'm just about to finish up. Thanks for popping in though. We're currently voting on a page to do in Hannah Carlson's Halloween as part of the live streams in October. If you want to take a vote, I'll just show you the pages really quickly, Martin, if you want to join in. So we've got this page of houses. We've also got what we're describing as flying slugs. To find it again. Where did it go? This one here, so mushrooms. I think it's slugs with bat wings or dragon slugs, we're not entirely sure. So we thought about that one. And also we have a page with sort of poison bottles and things on it, or potion bottles. So we're going to go with one of those. Oh, we're all in for the flying slugs. Well, okay then. Guess what we're doing? So this is such an easy way to solve the problem. I don't have to make any decisions. I'll get you guys to make all the hard decisions. Right, okay, so flying slugs it is. So I'll need to think about a background. Something that I get with all of Hannah's pages is I always have an overwhelming urge to put black backgrounds and everything, and I don't know why that is. But I think for this one, I think I'd maybe have black round the outside, so I might do that before we start the live streams. And then I feel like a really deep, like teal, emerald, maybe even a gradient in the background there, but like really, really dark. And then everything can just pop out in front of it. I think that's how I'm feeling about it. There's a lot of little itty bitty bits here though. That might take a bit of work. Okay, I'll have to give that some thought. Yeah, I mean, I've used black backgrounds in a lot of our images, and I say I don't know why. It's a bit like see when I'm colouring in Hannah Lynn books, I always want to do a base layer in markers and then put pencil on top, and I don't know why that is, but it's just something I like to do with that particular art style when I'm colouring. It's weird. Okay, right, flying slugs it is. Thank you very much for your input, and much appreciated, people. 80% for the flying slugs. Okay, so that is going to be it for today, guys. I am absolutely dry as the Sahara, and I need to blow my nose again. Thanks very much for coming and joining me this morning. I've had a good time. It's been a nice start to my Saturday, or what is going to be a very leisurely Saturday. Thanks to those of you that are in your other time zones as well. It's nice to see you, because I know I don't get to interact with a lot of you one-on-one. Just being on UK time and normally doing a Wednesday, so I really appreciate you coming out and popping in today. Yeah, see, hopefully this passes fairly quickly. don't know how long I can walk about like this. It's just like a big bag of snot. Oh dear. But we'll take it easy today anyway, it'll be fine. Hopefully I've given you some mushroom inspiration as well. I will pop up those photographs that I've got. I think I'll put them on the website because then it's easy for everyone to access the mushroom photos. So if you would like them for some reference pictures, I'll pop them up tomorrow when I'm putting Julia's paints in the shop. And again, I can pop that in my update post on Monday and you'll be able to find everything. Other hands, all the other hands, yay! Right guys, take it easy and enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you back here in the cave really soon for some more videos and arting. See you later everyone. Thank you.